Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Susan Magrino. Welcome to my home in Jupiter, Florida. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Susan Magrino, and we're here today in Jupiter, Florida. I began my career in the world of book publishing. I love reading, and I love authors, and I spent a lot of time working with them in publicity and public relations, going on book tours, traveling around the country, and really getting to know the media. I'm so grateful for my early days at Crown Publishing in New York City. I learned about everything there, and I had a terrific boss. I'd love to talk about mentorship. I think it's so important, and I had a wonderful boss who allowed me to do everything, sent me on the road with people like Martha Stewart, Dominic Dunn, Patty Davis, Lee Bailey, Tama Janowitz. I got to really create book tours and publicity. I was completely in charge. I think that's a great way to manage, and I spent 9 years there, meeting everybody, going out, dressing up. It was the mid-'80s. Reagan was president. There was a formality to the world and to dress, which I adored, and I have carried on and interpreted that in my own daily life. And then I began the Susan Magrino agency in the early 1990s, starting out working with my writers, quickly moved into hospitality, food, wine, spirits, special events, hotels, restaurants, and here we are today. I'm so fortunate. I began working with Martha Stewart in 1983. I remember the moment clearly. I was in my office at Crown Publishing at 1 Park Avenue, and I watched her walk in with two very large Louis Vuitton satchels loaded with slides for her third book, which, as I recall, was the hors d'oeuvre book. And in those days, you would come in and you'd work with your editors and you'd really sit down. Things were not digitized. And my boss saw that I had an affinity. I won't say that I could cook, but she instantly assigned me to Martha, and I began to go on all of the interviews with her. Martha is wonderful at nurturing talent. I know that Martha has been an enormous influence on me in my career, and I'm so grateful for all that she's given to me. We began going out on the road in the 80s, promoting all of her books, entertaining, quick cook menus, hors d'oeuvres, weddings, gardening. We just finished the 100th book, or I guess we're never finished with books, but the 100th book was published last fall, and here we are 40 plus years later. We've had lots of really fun adventures on the road, and remember working with somebody for such a long period of time over the development of both of our careers has just been so rewarding, and I don't think there are that many duos in any business, perhaps in music, perhaps in film, but we had a very funny trip to Japan, probably in the late 80s, early 90s, that resulted in a trip to the emergency room where neither one of us spoke English. We once took a baby blue Cadillac convertible beyond the county line that was allowed when we were out in California, and it died on the highway. And I remember exactly what she was wearing, a fantastic Acros pantsuit. I don't know what I was wearing, but anyway, we had to call the authorities to come and help us and get a jump start. We've had great trips to the South. We've had great visits where Martha will come in the morning and say, let's go do this, and you'll have a whole day ahead of you. And suddenly you're at something fancy in the evening, still in the clothes that you had on first thing in the morning, because Martha's mantra is learn something new every day and to just keep going. So I learned a long time ago, if those kinds of days were ahead, to make sure I had a bag, that I had absolutely everything I might need from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And that's the joy, that there's always a surprise there. Everybody doesn't get to see that side of things, but it's really a lot of fun. She's hugely inspiring, certainly to me, and to so many in her world, in terms of people who've had the great fortune to work with her, as well as all of the industries that she's really supported and all of the teaching that she's done. My husband and I bought a home in Florida in the early 2000s. He's quite the golfer. At the time, I loved the sun and the beach. I still love that landscape, although I have gotten busier and busier, so I don't have the time to lounge around, although it looks good when I do. And it's been terrific. I split my time here now. It's a lovely privilege to be able to come down for a few months. I love the migration of so many people that I have known throughout my career, and I think everybody would agree that the friends that they have in Palm Beach and Miami and South Florida as a whole are really, really great old friends. And I think that's a very unique attribute of this area. It really does attract people that have known one another for a very long time. Welcome to the living room. This is a more formal living room for Florida. It does have a little bit of that New York kind of feel to it, and we've got lots of things in here that I've collected over the years that I really enjoy, and I just kind of keep on collecting and adding to it. I love this table. It feels sort of very Yves Saint Laurent opium era. Speaking of which, we've got some lovely Tiffany Elsa Peretti. This is a book that I just got recently that I just adored. It turns out to be something that is from National Geographic, A Journey Through China. So I thought that looked beautiful. And then just bits and pieces. I kind of stick with a theme when I start to see things and think that it might look. That's where the edit piece comes in. You always have to figure out how to edit. But then again, too much is never enough. Florida has fireplaces, and it's actually kind of nice when we have some chilly weather. We've spent many, many Christmases in this room with the family. Everybody sits on the couch and opens up their gifts. We have a tree right here, so it's a room that we've really spent and grown and evolved in over the years. We have a bar over here, and we have some remnants of some wonderful holidays here. I love my poodles, and there are always memories of poodles and homage, and there are always gestures of poodles throughout our home. You'll see that. Some of my favorite books, people that I've worked with, there's always a sea inspiration going on. One of my favorite things to drink, and what everybody else seems to really enjoy, is Whispering Angel. It is always the life of the party, and you will be too. My background in book publishing, that was my very first job at Crown and Clarkson Potter. So I've always had a love of coffee table books, as we call them. Some of my favorites are here, some I've worked on, some I've collected. We have Palm Beach People with Hilary Ross and Harry Benson. I love Cameron Silver's Kaftan book. That's really fun. It's actually a bit of a Bible for me. And inspiration. Michael Smith, The Curated House. Martha's Weddings, many, many books with Martha, 100 as we've said. I love Lily Pulitzer in Florida and Susie Zuzak, who did all of the original illustrations for that. I just discovered her in the last couple of years. And of course, Slim Aarons is always an ongoing inspiration for all of us. Palm Beach, worldwide, attractive people in attractive places doing attractive things. I think Martha did 100 books. I give her credit for conceiving and writing and executing them. I think that she's incredibly prolific. One little secret I'll share with you, in all the years I've worked with her, I still don't cook. But I have certainly learned a lot about style and collecting and table setting. And I do know how to eat. But Martha is the one and only. I think my design style personally is really quite eclectic. We have worked with interior designers over the years. This room is actually on its second iteration. We've kept some of the pieces, changed the fabrics. That table has been a constant. This painting, which my husband and I bought early on in Philadelphia at a gallery, and we just love, and we're always getting inspiration from the colors. I recently flipped the end tables. I do love chinoiserie. And those are relatively newish, but we kept the lamps that we had. They worked really well with the mirrors that were already there. Don't ever forget, be the person that your dog thinks you are. Pretty soon we're going to go that way into the closet where all the magic happens. But right now we're going to go into the kitchen and the family room. So this is the family room, a room we spend a lot of time in. There's a lot of football and sports in my family. I like to sit here in the morning and read the newspapers. My husband gets up to speed on what's on television, and the day kind of begins here. And depending on the weather, we'll spill outside. I've got some of my favorite books in here. Certainly Martha's very first book, the entertaining book, which you may have heard, has now become incredibly collectible. And I think if you are inspired to cook or just to be inspired, see some early Martha shots and see what it was like in entertaining in the 80s. These recipes are as good today as they were when they were written in 1982. We've also got the Book of Rosé. We were talking about rosé earlier, one of my favorite things, and this is all done by Sasha Lachine and the team at Whispering Angel. And it's a nice memory of a beautiful party that we did in San Francisco a few years back with Sasha and Mathilde. Let's go to the kitchen and talk a little bit about some of my inspiration. I think we mentioned I don't cook very much. Kitchen's pretty clean, but I do collect. And one of my favorite things to do is to go to shops, and sometimes I find one of something and then I go to replacements and I'm able to build out full collections. I really, really like a lot of the Mikasa prints that were from the 60s and 70s. We did a Thanksgiving in Florida one year and I didn't have anything in the amber yellow colors, so this is Franciscan ware. This is another Mikasa plate. This was one that I had found one of. And it's also fun to have the challenge of actually collecting the pieces that you need for the set, as any diehard collector knows. And then we use these for our water glasses. We always stick with the Riedel crystal for our wine glasses, but I always have fun with water glasses. Colored ones was something I learned working with Alain Ducasse in Paris. Every restaurant, every table is set with a beautiful white linen tablecloth, but he always chooses a color for the water glass. It's wonderful inspiration. This is a Noritake bamboo pattern. I found this summer. I was super excited. I believe it's service for 12 and comes in a range of pieces, from the dinner plate, the salad plate, there's serving bowls, platters, soup spoons, so that was really exciting. My husband's mother, this was a set of hers, which is the very, very classic Villeroy and Bosch Amapola print. I've seen a fair amount of it down here in Florida, and I've been collecting pieces. I just found this bowl. I actually have some hibiscus growing outside that are in this wonderful creamsicle color, so we often set the table with this and put those running down the table. You can't go wrong at Tiffany. That was what my father said to me on my very first job before I went into book publishing. And this was a pair of Tiffany coffee mugs that was given to me a few years ago. And I have my coffee every morning out of a Tiffany cup. Breakfast at Tiffany in my own way. We've been talking about poodles, and anytime I see something with poodles, I'm always excited. This is that wonderful Monterey, California trays that I collect, and I was very happy to find one like that. These are some gold glassware. I use those around the holidays. I love to set a table. It kind of changes the way everything looks. This one has the pineapple on it, the symbol of hospitality. Homeworthy. Just found this beautiful palm leaf serving tray, and then this wonderful yellow ware, which is sort of like the green Dodi Thayer, but I've been collecting the yellow ones, which are all from Portugal, and I keep adding to my collection there, and it's beautiful with all of these limes. What does one do with this many limes? I think you always need a fair amount of both lemons and limes in the home. Limes are great. Obviously, they're great for drinks, but they're also wonderful on fish dishes, pork dishes, margaritas. I find that I use a little bit of lime juice on lots of different things, and it's also so pretty on the side of a glass with sparkling water or cocktails. In terms of cooking, what I really like to make, my absolute favorite dish, and what I adore making, are reservations. Well, this is part of my cookbook. collection. And I know I don't really cook, but I do collect cookbooks, and I love the Better Homes and Garden new cookbook. I love that one. When I found that, I was so excited. Of course, we've got Martha, and that's the 100th book. And then we've got other books here, sprinkled here and there. Sometimes I get inspired by them. Sometimes other people do. But I always have a great, great library to call on if I ever do need to really get in the kitchen, and I can. The 100th cookbook by Martha Stewart is really, really an exciting achievement, both for Martha and for me personally, having worked on 99 of her books. This is something that I just think, you don't get the chance to do this very often, and it's a terrific book. The recipes are wonderful. Creating the publicity campaign around this book was terrific. We really had a goal of getting on that New York Times bestseller list right away, which is where Martha belongs. And I think that for somebody to spend the time that she's spent in her career doing all the many things and still be so prolific and accomplished, the only thing left is that she needs to really teach me how to cook. Now I must talk to you about the powder room. Powder rooms are the best rooms in everyone's home where you can really have fun. It's where you can do the wild wallpaper, the wild mirrors, the wild lighting. We're not that wild, but I think that this has a great, great expression of that other side, my eclecticism. So I really do love it in here. I love that sort of red orchid print. Kohler and their amazing fixtures. Some of the brushed gold is terrific, and of course, being in Florida, you just have this natural habitat of being able to get beautiful, beautiful greenery. Now I'm going to take you outside, and you're going to meet Billy Ceglia, who is the fabulous interior designer that we worked with to reconceive our outdoor space. And we're starting here on our table. Hello, Billy.
Well, hello,
I love that you're
Susan.
here doing this.
It's my pleasure. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Well, I have raided Susan's vintage dinnerware closets to set the table for lunch. And we went with a theme of vintage lettuceware. So you can see her Portuguese lettuceware plates in yellow and some other white pieces mixed in with just some simple fresh flowers, all set on this wonderful Brown Jordan outdoor dining set.
What I just love about this and the palette of the white with the outdoor furniture is that we can just change the landscape all the time. And I think that's really my favorite part of having it. And, it all came from your design that you did at the Kips Bay Show House in 2023. I walked in to that beautiful Palm Beach show house, and I walked outside, and I just was knocked out, and I thought, oh, how can you do this for us?
Well, that show house sort of followed your credo of you can always add, but you can never take away. So starting with a very neutral palette for all of the furniture with, white powder-coated aluminum, white indoor-outdoor fabrics, a clean white dining table. You can add, and create different stories depending on the event or your mood. Or it can just be very simple and white, and you never grow tired of it.
Well, I think we're always careful about everything. The surfaces are pretty easy to clean off with a cloth and water. I think also what I love about it is you can take a lot of the flora and fauna of Florida right here, whether it's some of the pink bougainvillea. We've got orchids growing wild out in the courtyard, palm leaves everywhere, and it always looks good. And it doesn't matter what you set the table with, and it does provide a beautiful stage for all of my different vintage tableware and creativity. And Billy indulges me on that. And I think you've given.
Well, that's one of our shared passions, is vintage everything, collecting everything, and fashion.
Yes. I love your Tom Brown
Well, thank you.
jacket
I pulled
today.
it out of the archive just for you.
And then pretty soon you'll have to show them your great Stubbs and Wooten.
Yes, you'll have to bring the camera around for that one. I can't lift my leg that high anymore. No high kicks. I am known for my Stubbs and Wooten collection, so I think I have probably 250 pairs. Most of them are made just for me because I don't wear black, I only wear blue, so they make all of them in blue for me. And then 2 times a year I get a special pair that are just for me. Like the pair I have on today that actually have me on them.
I just love this outdoor space. I could spend the entire day here. We gather here a lot when we have our family, when we have friends. Great place to sit and have cocktails. I love the lattice work that Billy did. I just think it's terrific. It feels Hollywood Regency. It feels Florida. It's just this extra bit of sophistication. My husband enjoys it. He's sitting over there with the dog. Say hi to Jim. But a lot of what we do outdoors is right here in this great gathering area, which Billy really put together. And he and I had a lot of fun down in Florida going on South Dixie. This was originally a dining table that he had the legs taken down, and I think we found this down at Show Pony.
Yes, we found it at Show Pony.
I think
I think it was also Martha approved.
Oh yes, Martha liked it too. We did send Martha a photo to make sure it was okay. But I think the bamboo with the brown Jordan Calcutta, the Grecian key designs here and there, I do like a lot of classicism, and I like the modern interpretation of it, particularly 50s, 60s, 70s versions of it. So I just think it's terrific. Thank you.
When decorating an outdoor space, my first thoughts are practicality in materials, and secondly, how the space is going to be used. We knew that Susan wanted this as an entertaining space for cocktails, so we provided lots of lounge seating that you could sit with a martini or a glass of rosé and not spill. Other clients might want it for just sun lounging or kids, where something like this wouldn't have necessarily worked. So one of my great decorating tips for outside or inside is to use citrus fruit in massive quantities. I've been well known for having 30 pounds of oranges in a bowl on an island. But here in South Florida, it makes sense because it relates back to our climate and region. And it's also great because it lasts forever, and as it starts to get a little bit soft, you can use it for other things, for cooking or making juices or cocktails.
We're in the outside terrace surrounding the pool, where we have separate sections for people that can just sort of go in the sun, stay in the shade. We've got the summer kitchen here and a table there. We do a lot of entertaining out here. It's great because you're outdoors, so you don't worry so much about what's on the floor. One of the things that I really, really liked that Billy had done at the show house were these terrific agaves. And I just had to have them.
Yes.
I thought they looked amazing. And
the most coveted item from that show house, and you are the only one that got them.
oh, I didn't know that. Wow, now I really feel special. But I just think that they add this lovely touch. And again, it sort of builds on the power of a single image, literally. And I also think that anybody who comes here sort of, you stand out because this is such a neutral background. My office is this way, which I can show you in a minute. It's where a lot of the magic goes on when I'm working down here during the season. And it's easy to have some privacy and some separation, but I can still hear what's going on. Welcome to Magrino PR in Florida. And this is my office where I do lots and lots of work, Zooms, occasional meetings, and have lots of inspiration. I've got my poodles are with me everywhere. That's a bag that I got when I was in Rhode Island with Martha a couple of years ago. I saw it, and the minute I see anything with a poodle, they know when I'm coming. This wonderful piece was actually Jim's mother's. I think it's probably from the 50s or 60s. The other ones were all, once people know you have poodles, you get poodle things, as I'm sure you know. This is something I covet. Nick Dunn, who I worked with for many years, gave me this beautiful Verdura conch shell for Christmas one year that I really enjoy. A friend did some local paintings here. I love vintage handbags and collect them. And of course, here is our collection of rosé from Whispering Angel. What most people don't know about are our premium wines. And I'd like to tell you right now, Chateau d'Esclon, L'Eclon, and Garous, the most fabulous rosé in the world. Hope you can try that sometime. Wouldn't be Palm Beach if we didn't have the iconic photo of CZ Guest and her son Alexander that was taken by Slim Aarons at Villa Artemis. I believe that was in the 60s. Really, really love that. We've got some other inspiration here. We have Elizabeth Peyton's drawing of Jackie O and John, and then of course we've got Brigitte in all of her Saint-Tropez glory. We've got these terrific pelicans. I gave those to my mom years ago when she lived in Key West, and she gave them back to me, and I had the perfect place. And I love the old Fitz and Floyd pottery. Anything that is a clamshell, a scallop shell, a conch shell, pineapples, they all have my name on them. I love decorating with pops of color. I think so much of it, though, really is about my own interest and style and connection to something when I see it. And I think that's really important. You have to have usefulness, but I think when you're really getting into sort of decorating and in a fun space like this, which I can truly do anything I want in. So that's the other thing about this room. I get to really kind of play around and have my things. And as you can see, there's always a real need for editing and restraint because we could really go crazy with it. I think that too much is never enough. When I start collecting a certain thing, I tend to really get a lot of it, as most collectors and those of us with that bug have. Sometimes you move on, and sometimes you have too much of something and then you divest or give away, but I tend to kind of go back to some of the same things, and down here really love these colors. I don't have these colors anywhere else. They're happy ones. Welcome to the bedroom. This is really our sanctuary, and in the years that we've had this house, we've redone it a couple of times, and the most recent incarnation has quite a lot to do with the Matuk linens and sticking with a yellow and green palette. This is another Milo Bauman piece. I really like Milo Bauman. Whenever I see it and find it, I get it. I love the white headboard. Billy and I reimagined with the side tables, and again, more of that classic bamboo, and I love the bamboo lamps that I found at the Palm Beach Home Collection here in Jupiter. Yellow mohair scarf and a little bit of green, and beautiful plants, and it's just very calm and reassuring. Big TV where we watch a lot of things on a lot of different series that my husband and I like, and it's very relaxing and calming, and I sleep very well in this room. I love this picture frame. Yes, it is a photo of me from our honeymoon, but what I really do like is it's an old frame that has a lot of those Florida touches with a little bit of sea coral, a conch, starfish, and a clam. And it is just so special. I've never seen anything like it, and I just had to have it. I really adore the dressing area. And that spills into the wonderful, sinks and tub and shower and wet area that we've masterfully reimagined with the amazing Billy Ceglia. And it's light, it's bright, it's sleek, it's glam, all of the things that I love. It is my absolute favorite bathroom ever. We have had so much fun working on this project together. He is a true original, and as I referred to earlier, he's one of those people that you instantly bond with. He gets it, as we all say. We can learn from one another. We respect one another in what we do, and we do great work together. He does great work, not only for us, but for all of his clients, and certainly for the Kip Space Show House, which I also work on, and we've been so excited of all the work that we've all done together on that in Palm Beach and New York and Dallas. And the Kip Bay Boys and Girls Club of New York and the Kip Space Show Houses, the Magrino agency has been involved with for 10 years now. We've grown with them to also work outside of New York on Palm Beach and Dallas. The wonderful team there of Jim Druckman and Dan and Nazira is fantastic. They are so committed to giving to these kids, and all of the work that everybody in the design community, in the construction community, in the marketing areas, the decorators, the supporters, the patrons have done to really be so charitable. It's exciting and it's fun, and Billy Ceglia has really had an important hand in that. Welcome to my absolutely fabulous redesigned bathroom, which Billy Ceglia has just perfected. I think what was important to me was to have a big open space in terms of an area to get ready. I wanted beautiful light, I wanted glamour, I wanted it to be easy to operate in, and I wanted it to feel like Florida, I wanted it to be pretty. And Billy really took that and delivered in spades.
Yes, we wanted it to feel like we were in South Florida without it being too kitschy or saccharine sweet. So we had a lot of discussions about exactly how we were going to do that, and maybe a few little battles. So we introduced this faux bamboo sticking on the walls, put over the grass cloth, to sort of mimic the version of this bathroom before, but in a fresher, newer way. One of the big things that Susan wanted was for everything to be practical and have a place for everything and everything in its place. So we have this great makeup garage from Roburn, and of course all of our beautiful Kohler plumbing products for functionality and beauty.
And I love my collectibles. My 40s little vanity chair is really great. We use it all the time. And I think I've got some touches of some other pieces, as I always like a little bit of decor. But I love that we've got the bamboo here again. I think that really is a big theme of mine in Florida, in design here, and you can see it throughout the house. We have this sort of fun chandelier at the top that is quite adjustable and great to have on at different times of the day. I love a bath. I think that's really important. I love the Kohler polished nickel fixtures, and I love having a little bit of art and something that's elegant, and I love how Billy's just propped up that beautiful Nick Melee photograph. It feels modern, it feels vintage, it feels romantic, it feels beautiful, and I love how you've done all of this. One of the things, the way the original space was designed, there was a different cabinet for the toilet, and we thought, how can we make that a little bit of fun, similar to what I was saying about the powder room with the wallpaper. And Billy found this most amazing pattern that we have here. And I had this wonderful Audubon print of the American flamingo that I had for many years. I loaned it to my mom when she was in Key West, so it got a little bit of weather on it, and she gave it back to me when we did this, and I think that she is just perfect right here. And it's a nice, different contrast to what we have going on in here. I love this feature of our new space here. This vanity is fantastic. I love to sit here, and Billy brought me up to speed on what is known as a makeup garage. There are all different kind of lighting settings in here that we can play around with. Roburn makes this, and then you open it up and you can be neat or you can be messy. Right now I'm playing around with a lot of my fragrances and trying to organize those. They're very pretty out, but I do have quite a few of them, and sometimes I keep makeup in there as well. But I think it's a lot of fun because you can sit here and I've got my mirrors, I can do my makeup, I can decide on my fragrance, and it just, then you can close the door and hide everything. And we also put a television there, which is great because I always need to know what's going on. So sometimes I play music on it. We have speakers in here, and sometimes I'll watch the news, catch a late show if Jim goes to bed early. So it really, really serves a purpose. We've got drawers. Everything is kind of put away, yet you can open it up and have access to all of it without having to go to another cabinet. So it is truly form follows function and function follows form. And it is the ultimate ladies' hangout. Now we're in the closet, the really, really fun space. I do tend to spend a lot of time in here. I like to look at my closets as a workshop where I can really think about putting something together. So I like to see as much as possible. I am big on having everything open, and our friends at California Closets, who I've worked with on a number of different projects, were wonderful in designing all of this when we expanded it. We have handbags here, lots of fun, lots of color. This one I love. In particular, I got this a while ago. It's Lambertson Truex. There's actually a pair of shoes to match with the shells, a little bit of the seagrass there. We have lots of different colors and lots of different options for things. We can see shoes. Great to see shoes at eye level. These are really, really special Gucci pieces. I bought these in Chicago at Nordstrom a number of years ago when we had a James Beard Award, and I didn't want to wear heels that were too high. So this actually fit the bill perfectly. So that was great. But if we do want to go high, nothing like Chanel and pearls. And these are really fun. I got these at Bergdorf's Linda's at BG. You can always count on her for a great edit. These are great, great Manolos that are perfect for Florida. I've got colors that I really love to wear here. This is a really special piece. This Versace blouse belonged to Elizabeth Taylor. I bought it at the auction at Christie's a number of years ago. It was very difficult to get anything for the lady with violet eyes, but I was very fortunate to find this piece when Johnny Versace was designing. And there is always a place for Versace in Florida or anywhere. This is another really special piece that I adore. I got this in London at Liberty. It is a Jean Lanvin, and you don't see labels with the full name very much anymore, or even the vintage pieces. So I just think this is terrific. Be great with jewelry. I always try to keep my labels with the origin of everything. I think this one is from the 1940s. I think it's really important to know where things are, and if anybody's ever organizing your closets, it's good for them to know. Oscar, I got this at Serenella in Palm Beach. She always has a great, great edit. Wonderful Pucci. You can never go wrong with Pucci pieces. They're really so timeless. Leonard, which I love. I get most of that in France. This is Carolina Herrera. Wes Gordon did a beautiful collection inspired by the designer Rose Cummings. This was originally one of her wallpapers. I love this dress. I will forever, ever keep that dress. That's the hard thing, keeping everything. We've got Lily always has her own section. You must have Lily Pulitzer when you are in Florida. This is a nice older piece. This is one of the Susie Zuzek prints. She always started with the lion, and for those of you who know the Lily story, the prints originated with Lily Pulitzer having that orange juice stand, and when something spilled, you didn't really notice the stains. These are some newer pieces. I love long. I love the braid. I love that sort of classic look, and you can never get enough Lily. And then, of course, we go into Libertine, absolute passion of mine and Johnson Hartig from Los Angeles. I love this piece, all of this coral. This is so Florida. This is a great, great Adolfo piece that I got at an estate auction. This is wonderful. It has those car wash flaps when you go walking. Then we've got a few other pieces. This is the wonderful Camilla, and pairs very, very beautifully with turquoise earrings. This print is called Tea with Kempinski. Another Camilla. Of course, we have Pucci. This is Fig. I love Liz Lang. She's doing amazing things with that brand. A bit more of the Leonard. And then this is a terrific designer from Greece, Stavropoulos. You don't really find very many pieces like that. I'm hoping to pair that with a great, great necklace. Alan Anderson, who I met at 5 Story with Karen Murray, does these terrific pieces. He has a history in Palm Beach, and he comes and does trunk shows. So I really like those go big or go home looks. We always love turquoise. It always works, both red. We've got Grazia Maritza Vozza from Capri. We have Alan Anderson. I love our friends at Blue Carib, where I get a lot of things. And Sylvia Firminovich does these wonderful shells from Tiny Gods down in Charlotte. And then, we're always sort of playing, and these are Tay jewelry. I love a cuff. Those are from London. And these are friends at Blue Carib, made for me recently. Really, really beautiful. They remind me of pineapple and that kind of welcoming Florida piece. I love La Vie Style House at the Royal Poinciana Plaza. They have a whole rack there. I love their pieces. They are not sized, and you can wear them all the time. And I think that's the other thing that I like so much about accessories. You can dress things up, you can dress them down. I just found this wonderful Dior necklace. I think it's from the 80s. I found that at a spot down in Miami. But I find Florida's just got lots and lots of inspiration, and I'm always finding great, great pieces here. I hope you enjoyed just a little slice of the closet. I think I wake up every day thinking, what's today, what's next? I don't think in finality. I think about growth. I think about what's interesting to me, what stimulates me, how can I contribute personally, how can we contribute within our industry. The world has changed so much, and I love every minute of it that I've lived through. I wouldn't trade anything for the way that I was trained in business. I was trained with media, coming out of the print world and really understanding the news cycle, the personalities, the deadlines. I love that. That's how I think every day. That's how I organize my day and my life. What I love about this home is that it's easy. I think that having, while we do have 2 floors, we spend most of our time on the first floor. I have lived in older homes before. This house was built in the early 2000s, and I do think I'm a little bit more of a fan of recent construction now for all of the obvious reasons. I think that everything works. It's got the right inside, outside, it's got fun, it's got formality, it's got ease. We have 2 beautiful dogs, Astor and Rockefeller. It's very easy for them. They can run around. I've got my sort of areas where I can do what I need to do. I have a wonderful office that is sort of my Palm Beach fantasy, and lots of shells and lots of color, works with the environment. So I love it. It's one of my personalities. What's next for Susan Magrino? Well, there is always something coming up. I think that's what I love working. I love my team. I love our clients. And I think, one of my favorite things is always the pitch meeting. You really, really get to meet and learn so much when you are in our business. I love meeting people. I love feeling so inspired by what I do every day. So what's next is, I'd say it's the next project, but it could be the next outfit, could be the next trip, whether that be shopping or travel or work. That's what's always next.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.